What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Maya Marvelous. Shoot, just back with another video. Just want to talk about the JBA. You know, for those of y'all who ain't seen me before, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe. I'd appreciate any love you give me. Hell, any hate you give me, I appreciate it. You feel me? But I wanted to talk about the JBA because another YouTube guy that I like, DKM, shout out to DKM, you know, he made a video on if the JBA was a success or not. For those of y'all who don't know what the JBA is, the JBA was the league created by LeVar Ball, viewed as an alternative instead of going to college. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I thought that, you know, guys would be jumping at the gun to go and help LeVar Ball out, but boy was I wrong. But they still mended some decent talent, you know what I'm saying? Not the greatest players in the world, but guys who definitely slipped under the cracks and guys who definitely have some potential in my eyes. But the topic is, was it a success or was it a failure? Well, I think it was a super success, but what expectations did you possibly have? And for those of y'all out there who want to down the JBA, who give a bad, a negative vibe on the JBA, have you actually sit down and watched the games? Have you went through and seen who the players are instead of calling everybody a bum just because they're not on ESPN? Have y'all actually done that? Because if you haven't done that, then your opinion basically is just hate because you haven't even watched enough games or done enough research to know what the fuck you even talking about. But of course it was a success because a lot of the guys, other than LaMelo and Jello and maybe Keezo Brown, you know, the nationwide scene, we haven't heard of none of these guys. I haven't heard of none of these guys until the JBA even started. And the fact that I know Dion Lyle, the fact that I know Jarrell Springer, the fact that I know Curtis Hollis, the fact that I know Calvin Brown and Marquise Dixon and Jalen Nixon and Jordan Myers and Jordan Walls, just naming a few of my favorite players, Neon Weck, Nate Morris. The fact that I know these guys now, that should tell you something. Some of those guys could have went D1. Some of those guys did go D1. And some of them played in JUCO. But think about it like this. You went from possibly playing small Division I, possibly playing JUCO, Division II, Division III basketball. And then if you took advantage of it, you got a chance to go and play overseas. You got to go and play overseas against overseas teams. Now, people want to talk shit about the level of competition that the teams were. And I'm like, it doesn't really matter in my opinion. But since people want to talk about the level of competition, we can break that down too. You know, the JBA USA team, they went 14-3 over those games. And you know, I read the comments and a bunch of people saying they played against a bunch of B teams, they played against a bunch of guys who have full-time jobs. Not even the case. Of all the teams they did play, 4 of them were considered B teams. And B teams aren't necessarily bad. B teams are just younger teams. It's like they're building their young talent up. So they get them in when they're young and they build them up and and when they finally develop, they move them on to the main team. I feel like the USA should do that. But that's what a B team is. And keep in mind that the oldest player on the tour was Neon Weck, and Neon Weck I think was 22 years old. So, and you know, a couple of these guys, you know, they signed overseas. Harrison Rieger signed with a team in El Salvador. Marquise Dixon signed somewhere, but I can't pronounce the name of the goddamn country. So, you know, if anybody knows the name of that country, you know, tell me how to pronounce that shit. It starts with a K though. I know that shit. That's the only thing I do know. But and also I heard Cameron Massey might be going over there to get a contract with in El Salvador too. So the league hasn't even been around a year yet. It hasn't even been a year. The tour hasn't even been a year. And people wondering if this is going to be a success. Hell yeah, it's a success. The fact that one player got a contract overseas from playing in junior college is a success to me. The fact that LeVar Ball got the G League and the NCAA to make new rules is a success to me. The fact that the JBA is coming back in some capacity in 2019 is a success to me. At the end of the day, you could talk about the players, you could talk about, whatever you want. At the end of the day, LeVar Ball changed basketball history. And I'm not sure if these guys are going to make it to the NBA. I hope they do. Obviously Melo is going to go. But outside of Melo and Jello, I give Dion Lau the best chance to make the NBA because he actually played Division I basketball and had some success. But I guarantee you by next year, most of these JBA players that people shitted on and hated on and talked all this junk about, called them bums, this, that, and the third, I guarantee you they will be on either an NBA roster, a Summer League roster, a G League roster, or an overseas roster. I guarantee we will see at least, I'm going to guarantee 10 players will be playing somewhere other than the JBA next year. You can bank on that. But, that's just my video. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, leave a comment. Tell me what y'all think. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. Follow my social medias. Let me know you follow, and I'll make sure I follow you back. Peace.